It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
But nonetheless, here we are talking about Jackie Chan. Actually, based on the paperwork that we see in the movie later on, he's actually 76.
Is he 76 in this fucking movie?
He says he's like in his 60s or came here in the 80s, but he thinks he's lying to James Bond.
He's moving like crazy.
He looks like dog shit.
He needs life alert with how many times he falls in this movie.
Oh, he has brain damage.
I don't know. Maybe his brain is back
Already
to
mush?
normal. It's already mush because he's older, but he hasn't really put it to use because he's, an owner of a Chinese restaurant in London
Not even, he's like the cook.
No, he owns it, dude.
I guess, yeah.
Because I don't know who the girl is that runs the restaurant with him. If they're a thing or together, that's not his wife. His wife's dead.
But they kiss at the end.
Kind of kiss. It's like half of her lips are on half of his lips, and the other half is it's like a weird kiss. I can't tell if it's platonic or romantic.
Could it
but
be
that was like a left turn.
Could it be like a niece to an uncle? No.
Ooh, no, that's a little too close. That's
much.
way too close.
A daughter to a father? Daughter to a grandfather?
Definitely not. No. I feel like if they were related by any means, they would have thrown that into the story.
Well, there's a lot of family banging already in this story, so.
Oh, yeah. One's enough. One is enough.
We watched a movie called
The Foreigner.
Do you know what the book it's based on is called?
Yes, it's pretty offensive, and they say it a few times so that we understand that the book was brought up. But it's called The Chinaman.
Yeah, Chinaman.
Well, the way they say it in this movie, they say it fast.
It's an accent. The Chinaman.
The Chinaman.
The Chinaman. All right. It was released in the year 2017. You remember that year?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, 5 years ago. I watched this in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, man. Ever since The Karate Kid with Jaden Smith came out, and I understood that it was a Jackie Chan film where he gets emotional and serious, I'm always down for it. It gives me the same feeling of seeing Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, where he's actually giving a pretty solid performance that isn't slapstick comedy, right?
Yes.
And so seeing in the trailer, you get to see Jackie Chan cry. And I was like, oh, I'm going to watch this.
They already have my money.
Yeah. You see Jackie Chan cry in Karate Kid, and you see him cry here. Yeah, please take all of my money.
And then they bring old man Pierce Brosnan back in.
Yeah.
And don't make him fake an English accent. Just let him be super Irish. And he's...
super Irish.
I mean, he is... Yeah, that's how he really sounds.
We should make a drinking game to this movie to take a shot every time someone says "I."
Oi.
Oi. I don't know, dude. I'm not going to attempt any Irish accent in this.
They say the I's like an oi.
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 Oilin.
It was wild.
Oi, oi.
Did you like Pierce Brosnan in this?
I love Pierce Brosnan in everything except for Mamma Mia, but that's a whole different thing.
Okay, let's continue with the nitty gritty.
It has a runtime of 1 hour, 56 minutes or 116 minutes. And Jackie Chan's in maybe only about 45 minutes total of it.
Yeah, but that's still... They had to really give context to the political background.
Also, he is a straight up domestic terrorist.
Oh, him? Yeah. I mean, he's smart enough to not kill anyone with the bombs, because the only people he kills is at the very end.
Yes, that's true, but I know you're not a bomb expert.
Definitely not.
But can you explain to me how the lemonade matches in the bathroom bomb worked?
I don't give a fuck, but that was so cool.
Was it fake lemonade? Was it full of gasoline or something?
Well, there has to be some sort of secret ingredient, not secret, a public ingredient.
Was it the sugar that caught fire or whatever?
It could be that, honestly. And he uses a little bit of he uses the cigarette filter, puts a match inside of it.
I was like, yeah.
It's pretty, I loved that part.
Is he more ingenuitive than Liam Neeson in Taken? Because the first time I watched Taken and Liam Neeson hides under the dead body of one of those guys, and then shoots the dude coming through the door, that I thought was just as creative, if not maybe more, than some. But Jackie Chan does some intricate fighting.
Oh, well, when he's in the woods, and I know we're jumping, when he's in the woods and one of the guys trips on the tripwire, and once he trips,
he just eats him.
He covers him with a blanket of leaves.
And what he's doing is he's just rolling over.
Yeah.
So he's just waiting. He's waiting.
Well, Jackie Chan is so smart because by setting up these traps, he's doing less physical work. because he's old.
Exactly. It has a rating of 7 out of 10 on IMDb, a 66.6. Just kidding, it's just a 66. Percent on Rotten Tomatoes, a 55% on Metacritic, and Google users give it a blank percent. Christian, fill in the blanks.
85%.
85% is your answer?
Yeah, what is
That's
it?
That's 100% correct.
Is it really?
Yes.
Hell yeah, I did not look.
Well, now that you said that, makes me think you did.
Nope, I promise I didn't. I'm just getting better and better at this game, dude.
I don't fucking believe you.
We should switch roles sometime.
No.
Okay, all right.
Synapses coming at you.
Right at you.
Guan.
I don't know if this is racist or if you're just turning it into like a
Spanish soap opera.
Yeah, you're saying a Chinese name in a Spanish accent, so I don't know if I should be offended.
Quan is a humble London businessman whose long-buried past erupts in a revenge-filled vendetta when the only person left for him to love, his teenage daughter, dies in a senseless act of politically motivated terrorism. His relentless search to find the terrorist leads to a cat-and-mouse conflict with a British government official whose own past may hold the clues to the identities of the elusive killers.
What was beautifully orchestrated about those first few scenes is that it was this unfortunate series of events where, like, if she did wait in the car for him to park, maybe she would still be alive because she wouldn't be inside of the store, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, maybe if he did get to meet her boyfriend at school before they went to the dress shop, they would have arrived to the dress shop 5-10 minutes later after the explosion. Shit like that. Just showing that it was just extremely poor timing and they fucked with the wrong guy.
Honestly, terrorists should be scared that they might hit an old man like this who has a super sneaky past.
Yeah, man.
This movie's directed by Martin Campbell.
Okay, who's that?
He directed GoldenEye.
Ooh.
And he also directed my favorite James Bond film, Casino Royale.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm confused about is that I'm very unfamiliar with how European politics works. So, like, I had to kind of do some research as to, the IRA. I had to, look up that's the Irish Republican Army. And,
yes.
They're like, the bomb was made by the authentic IRA. And then, I had to understand Pierce Brosnan's relationship with the British government and that he was the first deputy. And then, you kind of have to dissect.
Yes.
Because it's based off of a book. And so they have to put, however many pages into, an hour and 50-minute film.
Well, and also a book that's from England can just be and he was a deputy director in Northern Ireland. People would be like, okay.
All right, that's all you got to
It'd be like if you read a book, it's he was the sheriff of Nebraska. You'd be like, okay. I know that's not a real position.
Of Nebraska.
Also, if you get
what part of Nebraska?
If you get pulled over and the man says he's a sheriff of Nebraska, that's not a real police officer. That's
Nebraska.
That's a serial killer.
That's a guy in a Party City outfit.
You know what? Hey, there will be blood. This movie had a budget of $35 million.
I think it made $70 million. I don't think it was a blockbuster hit, but I think it made money because of the familiar faces. What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna. You're wrong. Your logic is missing one step.
What?
It was released in China.
But it came out in theaters here.
Yes, but it was also released in China.
Meaning that it made a shit ton of money because it's Jackie Chan.
$145.4 million.
So an extreme success.
Yeah. So they all. Yeah. I mean, they knew what they were doing, bringing in old man Jackie Chan, old man Pierce Brosnan.
And this is just a few years after Taken, and since this is basically
maybe 10 years after Taken.
But still, I would say recent enough because no one's ever really going to forget Taken. Liam Neeson's trying to do everything for his daughter.
And I was going to say, I do love this trope of old action stars who have aged out of doing movies, and they're like, actually, I'm still a badass. And then they have a cool 15 minutes of fame again where they're doing badass things, and then they go to do funny jokey movies and
I really like that they use that to their advantage in this story, is that he is this very old Asian man who seems non-threatening, who just seems like a nuisance, right? He just says I will wait. And they're like, okay. And he doesn't seem suspicious at all. And then boom, a bomb goes off. And then boom, he's fighting off 6 bodyguards. It's wild.
He's maybe the scariest protagonist I've ever been asked to root for.
It's fucking awesome, dude. He's covered in blood in a bus, just bleeding through his sleeves.
With a dog that he stole.
Yeah, that he saved, I would say.
I think, I've never thought these words would leave my mouth, but I think Jackie Chan is a domestic terrorist who should be hunted at all costs and should never be allowed to walk free.
I mean,
Think about all the collateral damage he did. Yes, he didn't kill anybody with his hands, but you're telling me that those buildings exploded, a brick didn't hit a little girl in the park?
Probably not.
Right in the face.
He didn't kill anyone except for the people that deserved it. I think it's actually extremely impressive that he strategically placed multiple bombs without killing a soul. It's incredible.
Yeah, but that's like it's a good thing he planted those bombs away from people. He planted bombs. That's the problem.
Sure, yeah, but also
that's domestic terrorism.
But I think the general scope of things that in comparison to the IRA bombers that actually killed...
There is no difference.
There's a difference because they planted it in a public place with women and children.
Yes.
Killed 12 people, injured 38.
And that's why in the beginning Pierce Brosnan was so upset by it, because he's like, that's not how we do it. We're trying to make it easy, or like, make it better for Ireland and England, and after the Troubles and stuff. Like, he's really trying to like iron out all the...
Wait, so his motive is that for his political advantage, he wanted hits on certain people, right? And so he wanted the IRA. He didn't know what part of the IRA would be hired to actually kill these people. What he's upset about is that how they went about it.
Yes.
Killing, just doing it publicly, killing women and children when you could have just like done a hit.
And then on top of that, his secretary was being used as a mole for the bomb making group.
Yeah.
The girl.
Maggie.
And his nephew's fucking his wife.
That was something I forgot about this movie.
I did forget it. Yeah, rewatching that, I was like, that's a weird turn.
Because the first time we meet the nephew, he comes into Pierce Brosnan's mansion and like says what's up to Pierce Brosnan, like, hey uncle, and then says hi to his aunt who is like on the staircase, and she just looks at him deeply, and I'm like, are they fucking? Because I don't remember.
I thought maybe that was like step aunt or something like that. No,
that's aunt, but I would say that's
his uncle's wife.
Yes, but that's his uncle. That's Pierce Brosnan's like brothers or sisters.
Who knows?
Because it'd be fucked up if it was the wife's
her brother's son.
That's gross. That's like
her sister's son.
If they're related by blood, that's even worse, man.
What Pierce Brosnan's job is he's essentially like a senator of Northern Ireland.
Yeah,
which is a district of the United Kingdom.
They call him like the first deputy minister or some shit like that.
Because Ireland tried to be on their own, and England was like, no way, bro, you're part of us. And then they just like, okay, you can have most of the island except for this part. So it's like a whole big thing. And apparently he has these like really deep-seated like internal Manchurian candidate like tactics to like get elected, be part of the British government, and then like flip it from the inside. And then he just finds out he has actually no control over anything. Man. But I did like the connection of how the IRA is run like a business, right? He goes to the board of government officials and pleads his case, and then he goes to the board of like the IRA members and like is trying to figure it out that way too. So at first we are really, at least I was really set up to like Pierce Brosnan, thinking he was trying to trying to do a good thing.
Yeah.
Where I stopped liking him is every time he talks to Jackie Chan on the phone, and he's like, I can't do anything for you, man. He's like, my deepest condolences. That's it.
Yeah, what an asshole, dude.
It's like, dude, just lie to this old man. If you say, hey, I don't know anything, but I'll work on it, I'll let you know. Don't you think Jackie Chan would be like, okay, I'll be back in a week?
I would say no, because Jackie Chan is smarter than we expect him to be. Everyone in this movie is thinking for him to just be this, old
Asian man,
heartbroken Asian man that will just, that'll be a pushover, right? But he's part of special forces, is what we don't even know.
I'm pretty sure he's actually part of the Viet Cong.
No, dude.
I think actually he's part of the Viet Cong.
No, he was working with America.
Well, I mean, he had like the nail thing go through the guy's foot. That's very Viet Cong-y.
He learned from fighting the Viet Cong.
And also his name means like Vietnamese. I was reading a fun fact. It means he's Vietnamese from China.
Really?
Yes.
Well, what's his whole story? So he was trying to escape, and then his daughters got killed by pirates?
Yeah.
This got me like, did you get emotional at all like watching the first few scenes, like seeing his daughter die and like him looking at pictures of all of his daughters that passed away?
No, not because I'm a heartless bitch, but because I was like, how are they going to solve this? You know what I mean? Like, I was really into the detective of it. Like, is James Bond going to figure this out versus like pre-dawn Mr. Miyagi. Like, this is the prequel to the Karate Kid. Yeah, before he moved to Hong Kong and like lived a quiet life as a janitor, this is what he did before then.
I don't know, dude. If he's 75 years old here and still moved to to fucking Hong Kong after this,
not impossible.
Sure.
Thank you.
But I on the other end, you were like hooked on the detective aspect of this. Yeah. I was getting emotional because I grew up with a bunch of women, and like I see myself when I have children, like I want to have daughters. And
I see myself as one of them.
I see myself as a woman, and
which is great.
I live in the day and age where I can be a woman if I want. No, but really, I was getting emotional because I was like, what if I lost my daughter? Like the scene after the bombing where we see him cradling his dead daughter's body after the explosion and him crying, and then him going to her bedroom where like her bed's not even made, her school books are still open, things that she touched are still there untouched by anyone else. Like he goes to her closet, smells her clothes, and like grabs her teddy bear, and then after that you see him looking at 3 pictures of girls and you don't know who they are, and you later on find out that's his 3rd daughter that he lost, and he lost his wife giving birth to the daughter he just lost. He lost 4 women in his life that he loves. That is enough to push a man to the edge. And luckily enough, this guy was special forces and fucked shit up.
You're 100% right, Christian. If somebody took my family, I would do nothing. Just like he says to Pierce Brosnan, if someone killed your wife and daughter, what would you do? He's like, I wouldn't stop at all to figure out who did it. Mm-hmm. The problem is, he just threatened a political official.
Oh, I understand.
So, like, he is... I just think he could have been... If he is Special Forces and is this smart, he's losing a little bit of finesse as far as, like, the social aspect of being in Special Forces.
He doesn't give a fuck. Does not give a fuck about how he's seen by society, because he doesn't want justice from society. He wants justice for his daughter.
For himself.
And for himself, yeah, man.
I think more so for himself. These people killed my daughter, I'm going to kill them, and then, yeah, whatever happens to me, happens to me.
It gets pretty crazy. And, like, the first time we're really introduced to him knowing what he's doing is when he destroys his personal phone because of GPS, buys, like, a dummy phone and wraps it in foil.
Buys a new iPhone.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, you know.
Oh, man, he has enough money from the restaurant that he runs. Probably successful if he could just buy an iPhone like this.
That's not my point. My point is, like, that's kind of like getting rid of a hybrid car for, like, another equally expensive hybrid car, and it's just like they can still track you the same way or whatever, but that's fine.
But he wrapped it in foil, dude.
Fair. He did think of everything.
Yeah, because he was making more.
So here's my thing.
What?
If we have the time to see him prepare all this stuff and wrap a phone in foil, show us him putting like gasoline in the lemonade bottles.
Is that what he did? He put gasoline in it?
I don't know. I have no idea how those fucking lemonade bottles... that's the only thing that really upsets me, like, vehemently about this film, is I don't understand the lemonade bomb.
You should have Googled lemonade bomb in The Foreigner if you were that upset about it. Because sometimes it is... You could make... Sadly, and if this is, like, any bit true, this is influencing people at home, that you could make a bomb out of a match, a pack of cigarettes, and 2 lemonade bottles.
I don't see what... Okay, but not that we're trying to teach people how to build a bomb here. I see, you know, like a wick in the match in the cigarette, just like he did.
Yeah.
I see a fuel source and potentially in the bottles, right? I see a like when it drops, the explosion could cause, you know, like a poof and stuff like that onto the match, which would... But my thinking is like the liquid inside the lemonade has to be... Because lemonade itself is not combustible. You don't just like accidentally drop a match in lemonade and it explodes.
But this is lemonade
from England.
From Europe, dude. And we don't know we don't know if that's straight up lemonade or if it's like some hybrid.
A limoncello.
Yeah, we don't know what he got specifically.
All my questions are answered now.
It could be an alcoholic beverage.
It was limoncello.
If we live in a day and age where we are drinking pineapple seltzers, who knows if Europe's just a decade ahead of us and at the time they already had some sort of alcoholic lemonade drink.
First of all.
What?
The most un-American thing you've ever said is that Europe is 10 years ahead of us. I should punch you right in the mouth for Abraham Lincoln. The other thing is, we're getting way off track here.
You're the one breaking down this lemonade bomb.
I want to know how to make this bomb.
Then look it up on Google.
I do think what would have been better is if he had emptied the bottle, filled it with match heads, Same thing. So then when it falls and explodes.
You know what's funny? A 28-year-old Alejandro trying to tell a Special Forces 75-year-old Jackie Chan on how to make a fucking bomb when there's a movie right here that proves that it works.
I don't know, man.
You know,
I need a little more. I have one more question.
What?
What's in the lemonade bottles?
I don't know. You know what's more wild than what we're thinking about this bomb is how the fuck does a 75-year-old man break out of a window and then slide down a pole and then kick other people's asses?
The real question is, what was that pole there for?
No clue.
For Jackie Chan to slide down.
It's Europe. I don't know their pipeline systems.
But it wasn't a pipe that like went in somewhere. It was just a straight up pole. This movie, okay, look, guys, hey.
What?
This movie isn't rewriting cinema history here, but it is really fun to see Jackie Chan kick the shit out of like 5 people. Mm-hmm. Right?
I loved all the stationary scenes where he's only fighting people with his arms because it's actually Jackie Chan.
Oh, the stairwell fight scene is incredible.
Yeah.
The apartment against the bombers is also like maybe one of the single greatest 1v4 fight scenes I've ever seen in my life.
But we know that every single time Jackie Chan falls in this movie, it has to be a stunt double.
I think it's not.
What, you think they're telling a 60-year-old Jackie Chan like, hey, Jackie, we know that you've like done your own stunts in the past, but
that's what I learned was, you remember when he's cauterizing his wound?
Yeah.
That actually is behind the scenes footage that Jackie Chan did just like offset, and they're like, oh fuck, record this. This is going to be really good for the film. And then so they tried to edit it back into the film.
Shut up.
Yeah, okay.
Shut the fuck up.
Right,
no. There's no way he's just doing that to stay in character.
Almost.
No,
Almost,
dude.
almost.
Not even almost.
Go back and watch the film.
Camera's too focused.
Almost.
And like
Go
the
back
way he was wincing, that's for sure acting. Fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Who do you think
he
you
passes
are?
out. Remember
Dude, so you know when after he kicks all those people's asses in the woods and it shows him chilling in his like twig hut, shirtless, for a 75-year-old Asian man, still kind of ripped.
That is what good old-fashioned hate will give you.
What? Oh, you mean like hatred toward the bombers?
So the bombers, the pirates, I'm sure he experiences racism on a daily basis living in London.
Yeah, I mean, they straight up called the Chinaman like how many times?
6.
Yeah, solid. That's realistic.
Yeah, I think they say it's 6
I'd
times.
be pissed too at that point.
There are meaner things they could have called him.
Yeah.
I won't go down the list because you'll just cut it out. But
I like that they say, yeah, probably. But I like that he's always like, I want the names. Names. He has notes that he leaves behind that just say, names?
I like, it's like, I don't actually want to kill you, but I'm going to put a wire in your gas tank so you think I could kill you. And
but he didn't put it inside of the gas tank. He put it next to the gas tank.
And it was just wires.
Yeah, it never would have exploded, but everything was set up perfectly so that it could explode.
So who has better planning? Not to get too meta with this. Who's a better planner? Jackie Chan in this movie, The Foreigner, or Bruce Wayne in Batman?
Man. Something that you like to do all the time is just cross comic book worlds with every non-comic book movie that we review.
This is a pretty comic booky movie, honestly, though.
I mean, it could be a graphic novel,
I could see this being like the Chinaman, and people would be like, look at them reclaim this word.
I'm going to say Jackie Chan because he has to plan further ahead because he doesn't have the financial resources that Bruce Wayne has.
Well done.
He has a utility belt where he could plan 5 seconds before he needs to use it, as opposed to Jackie Chan's like few hours before he knows some perpetrators are going to come and he has to fuck them up guerrilla warfare style.
Or does Jackie Chan do it the way we see him do in this film? Pretend to be a plumber and then just like come to Wayne Manor unannounced and then offer to be like, yeah, I'm sure there's a bathroom that needs plumbing.
Well, there he's flexing his age and his looks. He seems like a very non-threatening old man, and you put an old man in any form of uniform, he's just like, man,
pretty believable.
Yeah, like, okay, he wants to fix this gas leak. Come on in.
It's leaking gas. When he goes in there to the bomb maker's apartment, and they're like, we need to search your bag and shit like that. The big balls this motherfucker must have to just be like, yeah, go ahead. They open it up. They flip it over. They start going through shit. They straight up find his gun.
Dude, it's a rifle with the silencer.
And he's just like, huh.
And he was calm that entire time. So like the toolkit had like, wrenches, flashlights, and then like a towel. And then they like take out the wrenches and the flashlights. And once they remove the towel, it's the gun. And that's when he reacts.
You know what? That's actually a really smart move. Here's how I think why it works. Because what's the first reaction when they move the towel? A gun.
Yeah.
And he knows that's coming up. So as soon as they reveal it, he just goes for it and brrr.
Well, if they're slowly taking out the contents of his bag, they're just making it more accessible to him so that at that point, once you find the rifle, I already know how it's positioned. I know where the handle is. I know where the trigger is. I'm going to grab it.
I know it's loaded. I know it's ready to go. I covered it in my own spit.
And this is the first time that he actually kills people.
Well, they're the bombers.
They're the fucking bombers. Yeah. And they're just normal looking people. And it is so, at this point, my heart is racing because it's realistic fighting in my eyes because he's not getting every shot. They're not missing like every bullet. Like he is getting knocked over still. And do you remember when he was hiding behind in the corner of the kitchen?
And then he goes in Gremlin style up in the roof corner.
Straight up like the Grudge style, just chilling in the corner of the fucking ceiling.
That was good. That was like classic Jackie Chan being smart as fuck.
Fucking awesome, dude. And then he shoots the girl like in the shoulder. He shoots another guy in the head.
So the girl he shoots in the shoulder who doesn't die immediately is getting questioned by the police.
Yes.
And here's where I think the police are also domestic terrorists.
How so?
Because when they torture her, they just beat this woman. They slap her in the face. They're like sticking their thumbs into the bullet wound. Like they're really fucking with her to get this information. And then once they get the information after she does give it up, they shoot her like 2 times in the head.
Fucking badass. I think it's fine. Dude, this girl was happy with killing however many people in an airplane.
Police shouldn't be killing people.
I know, but it's just
also when they find that laptop in the airport.
That's a fantastic scene. So Baddies, if you didn't watch this movie, first of all, it's streaming on Netflix. And if you're listening this far without watching the movie, kudos to you. Thank you for just listening to our voices.
You're welcome.
So she has to, in their words, shag this journalist who's going to fly from London to wherever the fuck. And so that she could have access to his laptop, switch out the battery with a bomb battery that he brings to the airport. And so these the British government, they interrogate her into giving up his name. They torture her. They torture her. They're sticking their fingers in her bullet wound. They get
That dude, what, shocked her nipples?
I think they shocked her nipples because they were like, pull down her shirt.
And he was like, we have work to do. Yeah.
Is he a German scientist?
I just always assumed if it's being tortured by somebody, they're German.
If you're being tortured by nipples, you're probably a German scientist.
If you're being pleasured by nipples, you're probably a German scientist.
Let's just say it's safe to assume that guy was a German scientist.
Joseph Mengele. Oh.
Sure. Who's Joseph Mengele?
The Angel of Death.
Sure. If the Angel of Death is a German scientist, then there you go.
I just think, it's just like, what makes us better than the bad guys then?
I get what you're saying, but if it means killing one person and saving 300 people...
Captain America would not like this logic.
Fuck no, of course not. But this is not a comic book movie. This is a movie directed by the guy that directed your favorite James Bond movie. And GoldenEye.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And GoldenEye. The video game? I think they're doing a remastered version of it, and I'll buy that for your PS5 just so I can play it on there.
Yeah, I'll buy it for my PS5 so I can play it with you.
Well, I don't have a PS5.
Oh, that's true. We can play it together.
Thanks.
Yeah. But that scene in the airport when...
And the cops are like, where's Ian McCain?
Yeah.
Where's Ian McCain?
Ian Wood, not McCain.
Where's Ian Wood? And the dude has like his headphones on and he sees like 5 police officers just running by and he's like, hey, what's going on?
Who are they looking for? Yeah. Okay. Is that okay?
No, that one was really bad. That one was, yeah. He was like, who are they looking for? And the person was like, they're looking for Ian Wood. He's like, I'm Ian Wood. And then he's like, also, if I saw 6 police officers fully decked out screaming my name, my first reaction wouldn't be, I'm the one you're looking for.
You would be like, I'd be like,
does anybody know why they're looking for that guy?
I have a little bit of weed in my pocket. Is that why?
What does he look like?
And they took his laptop and they did not know what he was doing.
They're just like, is that your laptop? And he's like, yeah. They grab it, run with it open, which, why wasn't their first reaction to close it and run?
Did they not close it?
No, he runs with it open. That's why when the cop falls, I'm pretty sure
it finally closes when it falls.
He breaks it because it goes backwards a little bit and then he closes it. I'm pretty sure they broke it, which whatever.
But still, it was fucking badass. Everyone was moving out of the way. He was hopping over chairs and whatnot, and he throws it in the...
over chairs.
Yeah, he did fall once, and you're like, dude, you lost 3 seconds right there.
We're all fucked.
Yeah, but he was able to throw it into the walkway that connects the airport to the airplane, and that's where it blows up.
You know what no one talks about, though, is the flight attendant who was in there.
Yeah, there's one flight attendant, because if that walkway is open, that means someone's there waiting to greet.
She opens the door, right? She's there to check tickets. They don't just keep those doors open in airports.
It could have just been a sweet lady who's just got into a new relationship.
Second job, trying to feed her kids.
That's what it is. Yeah, she's 36 years old. She got pregnant at 18, and she's trying to feed her 18-year-old.
She just finished night school. She now knows English.
Yeah. Oh, and now she's dead.
And this is how you start terrorism, because her son's going to grow up without a mother.
You've convinced me.
And who's he going to blame? The British government.
That's the British government that fucked up.
And then he's going to be in the new IRA, the NIRA, and they're just as bad, if not worse.
And they're also saying fuck the police.
But they also love gerbils.
Sure.
Thank you. So they do save the day, but that bomb still blows out every window in the airport.
It's huge.
And
everyone there is at least like hearing impaired after that explosion.
They're covered in glass. Yeah.
Yes.
Does Ian Wood, is he in trouble for any of this?
I think he's fine.
Why?
Well, I'm sure they're going to interrogate him afterwards, but we didn't enough time in the movie to figure it out.
He needs to be arrested as well.
Should we have read this book?
He's an accomplice. I will not read something as inflammatory as something called The Chinaman. Actually, I own 3 copies.
You would.
No, but I just think he deserves to be in jail too. He's an accomplice in all of this.
No, he didn't know, dude. He just happened to have sex with this girl that said what's up to him at a bar. And so what? Yes, he was a horny motherfucker that only lasted 3 minutes in bed.
3 seconds.
Was it? It was not 3 seconds. He called himself a 3-minute wonder.
I thought he said second. I'm a 3-second wonder.
No, he said 3-minute wonder. I think it's his thick accent.
3-minute wonder.
You didn't understand.
I'm actually really good at understanding Irish accents because I studied them for a weekend trying to get my Dickens Fair character down.
A weekend. Sure, no, you probably understand it more than I did.
I just love the idea of James Bond versus, Jackie Chan.
That was cool, yeah.
Which is what this was.
Yeah. And I did think toward the end when you found out like who betrayed who and who spoke to who, that was really cool. So we find out that
the reveal is really nice.
The other IRA, the other guy that's in charge of a section of the IRA, right, McGraw, we find out that he was tipped off by Pierce Brosnan's wife, who was fucking Pierce Brosnan's nephew. And the only 2 people that knew about the special code word that would reveal who the bombers were
was the nephew and Pierce Brosnan and his wife. That's
how we knew that. The nephew told his wife, and the wife betrayed Pierce Brosnan, which it all leads to at the very end, the nephew killing Pierce Brosnan's wife, which is fucking badass.
Because he has to go with his uncle.
Yeah. And he had feelings for his wife.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's how it is. He wouldn't be doing all this shit.
I think if you're a hitman, you should be able to get over that pretty quick. I think you can't have love lost.
Yeah, there's less of an ability to attack yourself emotionally.
Honestly, he'll be eaten up by it for about 4 or 5 years, and then I'm sure Pierce Brosnan's going to have him killed.
Yeah.
Based on what I'm learning in this guy has no compunction or care about killing anybody anyways.
I mean, he's a tracker. He's still part of the IRA and...
Secret IRA.
Yeah.
The SIRA.
He did 2 2 tours in Iraq, so I mean, like that guy's seen it.
That guy's seen it.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite character in here? Was it Pierce Brosnan or Jackie Chan?
It was Jackie Chan. It was Jackie Chan because A Man of Few Words to me is maybe like one of the single best characters you could have.
He didn't say much at all.
No. And also like a lot of talking with his fists.
Yes. And the fact that...
Also...
What?
A lot of talking with his fists, and everything looked like it did hurt him. Like every punch and kick and fall that Jackie Chan had, whether it was a stunt double or not, like it looks like... This is the first movie where it looks like Jackie Chan's actually getting hurt by the bad guys.
Yeah.
Right? Like in Rush Hour and all this shit, he's always like blocking it and like getting hit and like, whoa, like it's not... But in this one, he's like gets hit, he's like, oh, fuck. Like, he like...
Well, that's what's really cool about this movie is that, yes, it's unrealistic in the sense that the 75-year-old Asian man could fight off all these people, but they're also trying their best to show how vulnerable he still is. He's still getting hurt. He's still getting cut up. He's still getting fucked up, right? You still see him fall down the stairs. You still see him bleeding and whatnot, but he still wins at the end of the day, and so it makes it I mean, it's pretty fucking cool.
Who's your favorite?
Jackie Chan, man. It has to be.
Now, when you take showers, is it this Jackie Chan that's in the shower with you, or is it like
Rush Hour Jackie Chan?
Rush Hour Jackie Chan.
Younger Jackie Chan. It has to be somewhat comedic. He's a little too serious and depressing.
Rumble in the Bronx, maybe?
No. For sure, Rush Hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to rate me?
I will rate the movie and not you. I'm gonna rate this a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's fun. It's a fun watch.
It's a fun film. Honestly, Baddies, if you are gonna watch it, you could potentially fast forward and just do the action sequences, which would be fun. But sitting down and getting the whole detective film out of it is actually it's a pretty solid detective like thriller film.
And be sure to familiarize yourself at least somewhat to the
Irish accent.
Not the Irish, sure, but the Irish to the European political system that they got.
English.
Yeah, just that jargon that they have.
Yeah, look up the Troubles, guys. Do a little bit. I hate giving homework for movies, but look up the Troubles. Look up why everyone hates North Ireland. Look up why the British and the Irish aren't friends.
Yeah, a lot of history.
Because it would be like if Texas was just like, nah, man, we're our own, and we were just like, you can be your own, but this part of Texas is us.
So if the TRA existed, the Texas Republican Army, and they started bombing the shit out of
the Texas Republican Army, I can guarantee exists
already. It's just called Texas.
I don't know. I don't know what they're owned by now, but I'm pretty sure the TRA is 100% a thing. Yeah.
Now, the TDA would not exist. The Texas Democratic Party.
Titties Dicks Anonymous. It's for gay men who are afraid to be gay in Texas.
Yeah, that probably exists. Honestly, probably exists.
That's a sad moment.
Anyway,
it gets better, guys.
It does. This movie was, dude. I like anything with Jackie Chan. Like he kicks ass in this one. This would
have been a nice like little comeback for him, right? If he would have been able to not necessarily roll this into a franchise, because I don't need to see 3 or 4 of these things at all. But he's been doing, he's doing some stuff. Also, sang the song for the closing credits at Jackie Chan him. Grammy winner, that man.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's right. He sings as well.
He's a platinum recording artist.
And Manny Pacquiao need to do it.
You know what?
My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. If they both did that as a duet, take my money.
I think they should do it.
Yeah, they should.
Let's do it.
They should actually have a legit boxing match.
That would be really sad. That's like when Mike Tyson fought Evander Holyfield again, and everyone's
like, you guys are both old. Just go hang out.
You guys, this is really sad.
Real quick before we end this, I do want to
if it's quick.
Shout outs to Pierce Brosnan's scene when he is shooting McGraw's legs, and McGraw's screaming. Nice. Yeah, he's like, because he knew that McGraw betrayed him, and like eventually shoots him in the head. That shit was cool too.
After he got the information, which came very quick, he's like, write down the names and their addresses. And then the guy's like, no.
He's just like, okay, it's just 4 people. And also this girl, Sarah, who you know as Maggie. Oh, dude, and Jackie Chan forces Pierce Brosnan to send the text.
Of him cheating.
Yeah.
Well, because Pierce Brosnan's also a cheater.
Yeah.
Which is not a surprise.
We find out early on in the movie. And it's Pierce Brosnan, the guy that looks like that. Of course, he's going to want some side honeys.
He deserves at least 2.
He chose the wrong side honey.
He chose the wrong profession.
Yeah, he should have just, worked at a Costco. Great benefits.
This movie would have been so much better.
If Pierce Brosnan worked at a Costco?
Guys, I'm actually really busy tonight. I have a second shift at Costco, so.
Yeah, a lot of people want the $1.50 Polish dogs.
Mr. Brosnan, there was a bombing in Ireland. I have to.
I left that behind me. I'm no longer the deputy of
at 4
British
o'clock,
government.
I'm no longer the deputy of Northern Ireland. At 4:10, I'm a greeter at Costco. And then I will not be deputy director again until 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, so leave me be.
As he takes his hat off and puts on a paper hat.
Fucking bonnet. A paper hat?
I don't know.
You think they wear paper hats at Costco?
I imagine an In-N-Out hat, but I know they don't wear In-N-Out hats.
No, you act like you've never been to a Costco. They're hair nets.
Maybe an English Costco's different.
Sure. Oh, they all have to wear paper hats? Even if it's not the food court, they wear paper hats in the aisles and serving samples?
I don't want hair in my samples.
I guess so. You're right.
I like this beard you got going on. I'm very happy for you.
Baddies, hop onto YouTube if you're listening to this still and look at my beard and text me, message me, drop in the comments below or whatever the fuck. Let me know what you think. This is about 2 weeks in. I haven't shaved in about 2 weeks and I'm figuring it out. My girlfriend doesn't like it, but I am my own man. My face, my choice, and
attaboy.
Let me know how y'all feel. But other than that, you got anything else to say about this movie?
Don't fuck with Jackie Chan.
Dude, do not fuck with Jackie Chan.
At any time.
He finally
Drunk,
got vengeance.
Old, young, you know? There's no time. There's no good time to fuck with Jackie Chan.
No, he still kicks ass in this movie being an old man. Good for him.
And even if he didn't do all the stunts, he choreographed it all. He's the one who came up with all of it. So
yeah. They didn't put any makeup on him. He's just that old.
They actually had to take makeup off of him. Does that mean that in a couple of years, Johnny Knoxville will be doing like serious spy films like this?
Dude, I imagine that anyone that has a career being silly and comedic has the potential to do something serious, because that's kind of like what's fascinating us as viewers nowadays. It's just like, wait, you're telling me that Adam Sandler, the guy that did Big Daddy, the guy that did The Longest Yard, is doing this serious role by the Safdie brothers?
You're telling me that the dad from Malcolm in the Middle is going to be a cancer-stricken drug dealer?
Exactly, dude. You're telling me that the guy that was in Arrested Development is going to be cleaning a bunch of money for people in the Ozarks?
You're telling me the guy who was one of the worst cowboy actors in history goes on to become president of the United States and ruins our society by disenfranchising all of the mental health institutes that we had, putting a lot of people out of prison, trying to do the say no to drugs thing? It's just like, why the fuck are you toting him as like such a great person? Reagan wasn't that good.
Yeah. You're telling us that?
Thank you.
That's all I got. There's no way I was going to top that. We're going to leave it at that.
Do you think Professor X is in the new Doctor Strange?
No.
Okay, cool. It's on film.
All right. Baddies, you guys know what to do.
Vote independent.
Do what you want with your body. I've said that multiple times on multiple episodes, but stays true every time.
And you say it when it's not an appropriate time, like at a funeral.
When it's open casket?
Yep.
Hey. Do what you want with your body.
Did anybody ask him?
So he did not get to do what he wants. Okay, what he wants with his body.
He told me one time that he wanted to be buried in clown shoes.
And I don't see clown shoes.
Why'd you turn into Chris Rock?
I don't see clown shoes, huh?
Now you're George Lopez.
All right, Baddies, we'll see you later.
I'll see you sooner than that.
Bye, merch. Say what's up to us.
I just saying goodbye to merch.
Follow us.
Goodbye, merch.
Goodbye, merch. See you guys.
I love you.
Can't be that bad, oh, it 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 can't be that bad.